Hello there viewers, welcome to the Musings of Maverick channel. I'm your host Maverick. Today we are continuing our watch of Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation. So anyways, if any of you guys are here for the first time, I obviously watched the first season as well, and they're all on my channel and whatnot, so feel free to go back and watch that. I'm not gonna do too much of an intro here because, well, we are now in the second core and things are just continuing as usual, right? Let me remember a little bit. So, we are still following the adventures, of course, of our main protagonist, Rudy, and he is now currently like 5,000 miles or however many miles away from his home, along with Eris and Ryujard. I can never pronounce his name, honestly. Like, Japanese have their specific way of pronouncing these Romanized names and whatnot. It gets really messy, right? And if you try to pronounce it the Japanese way, it also sounds kind of pretentious. Rijaruta. Rijaruta. Or something of that sort. I don't... Ridgerald. Anyways. So, yeah, they are still trying to find some way to get back home. I do believe, if I recall correctly, I have read through the manga of this, just, kind of like sort of flipped through a little bit. This is about the point where I stopped reading it, but I seem to recall that there were some events that were happening whilst Rudius was on this sort of epic adventure, right? Although, not really quite willingly here. Mostly due to the mercy or mischief, I guess you could also say, of the god character in this show. But in any case, like, I don't really know what's gonna happen. Hopefully he will find his way back home. I do believe, actually, Foxy is also on a journey, and they just kind of missed each other. If I recall correctly, they are going to eventually meet up as well, but, that is something that we'll just have to see within the episode. So, without further ado, let's just get right back into it. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. So obviously this is one of the most anticipated animes of this season. We last had it like at the start of the year, right? And probably without the virus situation and whatnot, it would have been one single core. It is and of course Sugita voicing the adult Rudius. Oh, we're entering from the opening. Eh? Okay. Hey, there's Roxy. Although, if I remember correctly, they're not actually going to meet each other that quickly. And actually, it wasn't only just the manga. I've read a little bit of the light novel as well, because, Mushoku Tensei is quite big in Japan. Mezamena Uta? Awakening Song? Song of Awakening? Right. They should be trying to find a ship back home, right? Presumably. Yeah, if I recall correctly, Roxy and Rudius are not going to meet very quickly. Yeah, they're gonna keep on. And dog ears. Guard dog ears, yeah. And what's him? Oh, they can't eat the good stuff.
S ランクの依頼をこなしてもどれだけかかることやら。困ったわね。まさか置いてくの？もちろん置いていきません。じゃあどうするのよ？解決策は
Most probably they're gonna have to come. They're going to have to gain the favor of them, right? I'm just speculating here. I actually don't know. I mean, typically when this kind of situation arises, you don't normally actually get the astronomical sum of coins or money or whatnot.
私も何か考えてみるわ。そうですね。しばらく可能性を探ってみましょう。ありがとう。さて、どうしようか。
Oh,
1年ぶりだね。
yeah, almost. I'd say more like half a year.
二度と顔を出さねえと思って安心してたぞ。いやー、前は僕の助言で大変なことになったでしょ。ちょっと顔を出しづらくってさ。様にもそういうところがあるんですね。
You know what? As far as gods go, this one's quite okay. At least he's interesting.
彼らを仲間に引き入れるとは全く予想外。僕としては見ててとても楽しかったよ。俺は全然楽しくなかったけどな。でもおかげで1年ちょっとかからずここまで来れただろう。結果オーライだとでも？物事は結果が全てさ。気に入らねえな。お詫びじゃないけど今日も助言をしに来たんだ。露店で食料を買い込んで路地裏は歩くといいよ。勝手に助言すんな。で、何が起こるんだ？
That's for you to find out.
それは明日の。
Of course he's not gonna say it, right?
僕は消えるよ。
Johnny!
またね。急に出て
Oh, matane. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Probably a lot, actually, but better than not doing anything at all.
今日は別行動をするって。何をする気かしら。戦いの最中に気を抜くな。
Nice. So of course, because this is the first episode back from the hiatus. We gotta eh? Oh, huh. Roxy is actually looking at them. Actually, Roxy doesn't know of Eris, so yeah. Even though she sees these two, she doesn't recognize that they have something to do with Rudy.
あの自称神の狙いは相変わらずよくわからん。前は難しく考えすぎたせいで奴を喜ばせてしまったらしい。なら今回は逆に従ってやろうじゃないか。難しく考えず素直にこなすのだ。そうすれば奴は面白くないはず。
I kind of feel like he's gonna get into a pretty bad situation. I think she's literally like one street over, dude. Of course they gotta do something like that, eh? Oh, here's the event. Who is this? Oh! Actually, I kinda like, she's actually quite... Okay, okay. I think I remember something of this. Yep, the Demon Lord. Of course, of all... you would think that Rudy, being like an otaku who likes to play a lot of fantasy games and whatnot, should know about this kind of events. What kind? Maybe a blessing of some sort? She seems more like from a cartoon than anything. Congratulations, you just had a rare event.
予見眼を手に入れた。いきなりこんなものもらってどうしろっちゅうね。ああ、まっすぐ歩けねえのかてめえ。すいません、目が悪いもので。目が悪いだ。だったらもっと気をつけて。おい、どうした？
Oh.
聞こえてんのか？魔界大帝か。復活していたとはな。知っているんですか？会ったことはない。だが聞いたことは。
I mean, having precognition is obviously always a good thing, eh?
体内に隠し持ち、あらゆるものを見透かすことができるのだという。
And Eris is like worshipping him even more.
待てを考えることなど俺にわかるものか。
It must be like, of course, my master Rudy, my teacher Rudy is the greatest. That's why he can get this kind of thing, right?
すみません。この目に慣れるまで僕は引きこもります。わかったわ。ありがとうございます。エリス、魔界大帝は探しても無駄だと思いますよ。わかったわ。まだ町にいるかしら。どうだろうな。よし、行くわよ、ルイジェルド。ほら、急ぎなさいよ。その後、1週間ほどで俺は魔眼になる。
And of course, because he's been holding up for this week, he wasn't able to meet Roxy. Sorry, Roxy.
見える未来の区間は魔眼に込める魔力の量で調整することができる。魔眼を手に入れたからって私に勝てるかしら。魔力を強めれば2秒以上先の未来も見える。見えるがブレる。2つ3つにブレて見えるのだ。長くて1秒先。これがブレない未来の限界だ。次は右から剣。よし。
But you still need to have, of course, good. You still need to have like a good body and good reflexes. Nice. Oh. 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 Like, come on, even I could see that coming a mile away. Oh. Yeah. You kinda have to, like, watch out for her pride as well.
スペルド族の戦士団にも魔眼持ちはいたが死ぬまで制御できずにいた。1週間で制御できたお前は異常だ。もしかして今ならルイジェルドさんにも勝てたり？やってみるか。はい。ルイジェルドさんには勝てませんね。エリスは1本取ったって聞きました。すごいじゃないですか。別にいいわよ。慰めてくれなくても。ずるいわよ。私だって早くルーデウスに追いつきたいのに。すみません。なんで謝んのよ。何をしてるんだ俺は。魔眼は偶然手に入れたものなのに。そんな力で努力してきたエリスに勝って嬉しがって浮かれすぎだ。
I mean,
今俺がやるべきことは強くなることじゃない。エリスを連れて家に帰ることだ。
true. But hey, consider it as like repayment for being put into this situation. And what about you, Rudy? Good point. Which kind of builds on from, the last 2-3 episodes from the first season, right? Right, and here's the special event. The woman with the demon eyes. Oh, and here we have the ending, I presume. Oh, I actually forgot that. Okay, never mind. So, as usual, the first episode of a season, the first time we do see the opening and ending, I will go through it, just to see if there's anything special in it and whatnot. Feel free to skip till the end, and I'll have my discussion session after that. Kaze to Ikumichi. I guess walking along the road with the wind? Walking down the road with the wind or something of that sort? Okay, I guess not really quite anything to say here. Well, misconnections. I kind of feel like that's probably talking about Roxy. But anyways, I'll see you guys after this. Alright guys, so this is the first episode back for Mushoku Tensei, the second core, and it picks up directly where we left off, right? Rudy is the same Rudy as ever. Obviously he still has this otaku, character within him as well. He is literally reincarnated after all. So we still get the little bit of an ecchi or pervy kind of stuff. I mean, that's to be expected, right? And if you're really looking at this and saying, okay, when are they gonna grow up or what? Sorry to burst your bubble, but I think never, right? This is one of the common traits of our main character, our main protagonist, and if maybe he will act mature on the outside, but he'll always have that kind of heart there. And hey, I mean, to me, that makes it much more relatable in a way. But to each their own, I guess. Though I feel like if you are continuing to watch on and whatnot, you probably already accept it as much already to this point. Aries is still obviously with a fairy temper as ever, although we can clearly see that she is growing as well. She is maturing, even if she still goes into tantrums. She's not unreasonable now. Rudyard as well, and really this is talking, or how can I say, this is continuing to carry on from the last few episodes of the first core, right? Where they talk about their various weaknesses or characteristics or whatnot, and how they can really work together as a team here. And the discussion at the very end with Rudy and Rudyard obviously is evidence of that as well. Now, as for this actual episode and what is going to happen, now, the funny thing is, I mentioned at the beginning, I have read through the manga and light novels, right? And, kinda, sorta, around this part is when I left off. And, honestly, it was a long time ago. My memories are very fuzzy, so once some characters actually come back, right? Once some events actually pop up, then I go, oh, yeah, I kinda, sorta remember that happened here. So, I don't really want to spoil things, but to be honest, the only concrete thing I think I can still remember is that Roxy and Rudy are gonna have a very, very hard time of actually meeting each other, and I think that much we can already extrapolate from just this episode, how they are literally like one street away from each other, but still not actually meeting each other. Or like, let's say Roxy, she took an interest to Rudyard. Obviously, she's a little bit wary of the spirits and whatnot, as well as Ares. But because she doesn't know these two, right? She never met Ares and whatnot. Rudy only talked about the Ares and what he's doing through letters to Roxy. So that is obviously something entirely different, and I can't quite remember, but I recall that until the very, very end, they probably do not cross paths. But, don't take my word for it. For one thing, it could be considered a spoiler. For a second, my memory is so fuzzy that I can't really remember anyways. And it actually doesn't help matters that a lot of the concepts that are being used here were later on used by many, many other newer derivative light novel works or manga as well, right? It's become kind of like a common trope, actually. Like, for instance, the Demon Lord who, Kirikari, or whatever the hell she's called, the wayside reincarnated demon lord who just so happens to be at the right place, so you are able to gain some sort of blessing from them, even though they are even though they don't have any of the regalness of an actual demon lord or whatnot, right? I mean, that's a common trope that's used nowadays, but back then, again, I can't really say if this is one of the first works to do it or not, but yeah, all I can say is if you read a lot of different light novels or mangas of isekais and fantasy works, you will recognize this sort of development, and at least to me, they all get kind of jumbled together and mixed up at the very end. But hey, anyways, Rudy, he's powered up. He's got this eye of foresight now, which is really, really useful, all things considered, right? Like, anytime in any kind of world where you have the ability of foresight and whatnot, obviously it is OP as hell. And Rudy should do everything he can in order to try and utilize it a lot more, right? As we can clearly see here between his battle with Rudyard, knowing is just half the battle, right? If you can't really allow your body to catch up with the other's movements, it doesn't really matter if you can see him 2 seconds in advance, like what's gonna happen. You're still gonna get your ass kicked regardless, right? But it is a first step, right? And I guess that is one of those abilities where it gets stronger the more stronger that you are yourself as well. And especially for Rudy, who was sort of more kinda a mage, right? This is even more important because it allows him to really cheat through his way, in a sense, for the close quarters combat skills and allow him to use his mage capabilities a lot better. Now, I am speculating here because I don't really know, like, further on, later on down the road, how far he develops in terms of his close quarter combats and whatnot. But you can definitely predict that because Rudy has this ability, probably it will help him a lot in those kinds of situations as well. Although maybe another thing is you can totally see a situation where Rudy relies it too much and makes it too much of a crutch that maybe one time when he's not able to use it, he's gonna get into a lot of trouble. But obviously that is really, really far away speculation, so we'll leave it at that. And then, getting through these special events, you could consider it Deus Ex Machina in a sense, but hey, the entire thing is a Deus Ex Machina, right? He's literally in his sleep talking to a god character who's telling him what to do. So that kind of goes with the territory and whatnot. And I feel like, once again, just from the description of the development, I think it's easy to think that, okay, in normal story development, there's no way they're actually going to legitimately get that amount of money and then really use that amount of money to cross the ocean, right? It's a huge ripoff, right? It doesn't really work that way. So obviously they are going to have to take some sort of other measure, or gain favor in another way in order to get passage and whatnot. And so, of course, the ending of this episode, especially with Rudyard, and it's good that Rudyard actually worked things out already with Rudy, so they can actually accept this more, how can I say, more gray areas of getting across and whatnot. So yeah, let's just see, right? I actually don't think we're gonna be stuck on this island too much further. If I were to guess, maybe I can't really say, right? But I feel like they're not going to stay stuck here for too much longer, actually. I think there is going to still be more stuff once they get back as well, so I am looking forward to that, right? And I'm sure that all of us would love to see them go back to the homelands and whatnot, and to let everybody else see how Eris's growth, both in terms of her abilities and her attitude, Rudyard as well, and how people can either freak out or all I can say is I'm dying for them to quickly go back, right? Because there's so much, like I said, there's so much actually happening. You don't even need to know of it. You can just predict that there's so much happening back in the main city and whatnot, right? Like, such a big event, there's bound to be like lots and lots of disruptions and things happening all over the place, right? So I can't wait until they leave this place, get back, and then we can get into another bigger arc and bigger story. So, anyways, that is it for this first episode of Mushoku Tensei. Thank you guys, and I will see you guys next time as well. Welcome back, guys. Hopefully we have a good season. See you guys next time.